right here as you taking it out, so it can clear this little back area right here. That's all. Take it out, and there she go. I finally created or designed an auto trip for the 22 LR. Now, I kind of know the ins and outs of how the FRT work, specifically Hoffman Tactical FRT, and I got the whole shenanigans like the bolt, the M16 bolt, full bolt carrier, buffer spring, got a spring co buffer. So if you watch the last video, you'll know that I installed a spring co buffer with the H2, and now we back on working with the 22. Now, CMMG owes me a auto trip as we speak. It's been about 4 months, like I don't know how many months, but I think it's been like 4 months since I purchased it. And basically they told me that they needed to fabricate a few thousand of them before they can ship them or whatnot, and I'm just waiting on that. In the meantime, a little bit before that, what really got me into wanting to design it was, this was long before I actually purchased it. So what got me wanting to design it was I didn't have no way to trip the FRT using my 22. So basically I got a couple things in this bag right here, and I'm gonna show you. One of the few prototypes that I came up with was this thing right here. And this basically has everything to do with the finished product. It's not great, just like any first prototype. And this right here is the finished product. Let me show y'all these real quick. I'm also working on a replica basically of the big bore weight, or what I say big bore, the bore buddy weight system. Working on that right now. I got some tungsten rods for that, so that's a whole nother project I got going on. But this is basically what I came up with right here. So it don't look like much, but I'm finna show y'all shortly what I got going on and how everything functions and whatnot. So this is the V1 of this right here. So basically this part will be considered the rosin plate, where the screw sets to trip the tang on the FRTs, and this is the actual auto trip, and these two go together like so. So let me see, that would fit like so. You put your screws here, although it really don't need 3 screws, because this the main screw right here actually holds it pretty well. So without talking y'all head off too much, I'm definitely gonna get down to the meat of this. Now, Hoffman, if you ever was to watch this video, you ever come across this video, my guy, thank you for designing the FRT. And the reason why I say that is because you don't understand how many hours, time, and just a lot of investment that I basically spent trying to figure out how to get, or how to make a 3D auto trip that works with your FRT. And I like it so much, you know what I'm saying, I built your lower as well. It's the double rib, so I fell in the category of building your double rib lower. I think within the first week you released it, and I just fell in love with it. I also, like I said, your FRT, man, you doing a great job, like for real, and you motivated me to go ahead and create this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just show y'all functionality check. Now, this is a clear firearm for you safety geeks out there. It's not bad to be safe, but safety check. I'm gonna show y'all the functionality of this. So, as you know, most semi-automatic triggers, you pull the trigger one time, and as everything come back, reciprocate. It's supposed to not reset, and the user or the shooter is supposed to release the finger for it to reset. Now, obviously, you just see me cock it again after firing the weapon. And now, as I squeeze it again, hold on, let me get this in camera. So you'll see the reset here, reset, and as it come forward, you'll be able to fire it. I'm trying to show y'all the bolt side too. I don't know if that explanation was good or not, but on a regular trigger, basically you'll pull the trigger one time, bow, and for the trigger and everything to reset, you have to let the trigger go. With these triggers, I'm gonna take my hand out and just pull on the charger handle, and you should see it reset. Let me hold it closer to the camera. You should see it reset. Okay, it reset, and basically applying that same amount of pressure to your first shot, and the reciprocation of the bolt and how basically a FRT is designed, it's literally what it is. So the bolt carrier comes back, hits the plate, which hits the trigger mechanism in the back, which forces the reset. Obviously, you still be pulling the trigger, getting another shot. Again, there's pressure applied on the trigger. It's pretty sturdy pressure. Yank it back hard, and then let the bolt almost close. That's probably too much pressure, because sometimes it will happen. And let the bolt almost close, and you can see it will not press right here, but if I just let it close ever so slightly, it presses, or allows me to press the trigger. Now we finna break it down. So taking it down is as simple as just taking your pins out, and like I said, you have the Hoffman FRT. Now with mine's a little modified. I usually shave it a little bit. That's for another day, another story. And what y'all been waiting for is, try to get it in camera, you gotta kind of push up on it right here as you taking it out, so it can clear this little back area right here. That's all. Take it out, and there she go. Just let y'all see it. Now this one looks much cleaner. I put the holes in the right location. There's also an adjustable tab right here. Right now I'm using M3 bolts and nuts, and that little nut right there on the end, you can work up or down depending on where your tang sits in your gun. So just as easy as taking it out is just as easy as putting it back in. So you pull back on it a tad. So putting it in is just as easy, literally. Show y'all. Now my first design, it wouldn't even fit. And matter of fact, before I put this in, let me show y'all this. This was some type of CAD design I found off of I think Thingiverse or something like that. Never worked. Them shits don't work. So I really had to come up with a design of my own, because I was tired of waiting, and I'm not the type of person that wait. I'm a get it done type of guy. So basically, you just stick it in the back like that. It's gonna hook. When it hook, it's gonna drive itself straight in. Push it, just like that. And now you can put everything back together. But before I do that, y'all seen the functionality check of it. Now I'm not going to put. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the FRT back in here. I'm gonna take some technical difficulties. My damn GoPro died. So basically what I was saying was I'm gonna take this out. Now it has the FRT in here. As you can see, FRT's in there. We're gonna let everything drop back into place. We're gonna close it up. Now we're gonna try to fire it. Now note the way Hoffman has this thing designed is, in order for the trigger to be engaged, it has to be tripped. And that's the purpose of an auto trip. So I'm gonna cock it back, and it will not let me press the trigger no matter how hard I press it. Now, here's the downside about any auto trip, no matter if it's 3D, no matter if it's anything. It don't matter. Things wear, and if that breaks, so to happen, basically your gun is unusable. I'm just sorry to say it. Now, doing testing with this, I've been racked it. I'm over 1,000 times. Like, y'all just don't understand. Like, literally, my spray paint on my gun has came off on my fingers. Literally every day I go wash these. I rack my gun so freaking much. So I've tested it, racking it. I've shot it a few times. I didn't get a success. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. Now, in the room and on paper, it works. But I do know with the 22 versions, like I said, that's why I have to get that weight dialed in. I have some tungsten. I've already done a couple models and a couple, you know, like first copies and whatnot to see if everything fit up, you know, and get everything like that. So once I get the final copy, then I'm gonna make the holes and put the tungsten in and all that good stuff. So that way I can throw it behind this bolt to make the bolt a little heavier. In the meantime, I'm gonna be working without the weight, so that way I can try to just get it working. Like I said, now we're gonna throw this FRT back in here before we wrap the video up. I'm trying to find my, here we go. So before we wrap the video up, we're gonna throw it back in here. Y'all see it did not shoot because it doesn't have the auto trip. We're gonna do it once again just to see I'm not bullshitting. So here we go. Close it out. I usually lean it forward a little bit. Close it up. We're gonna try to shoot this bad boy one more time. Cock it. It will not go. Like, it won't go, and it's not on safe. I promise you. So, like I said, we're finna break it back down and throw in this auto trip. Now, I'm excited. I've created, matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all another thing I've created, but let me stop jumping everywhere. Go ahead and put this in here for y'all. But I also created, my first thing I created dealing with the 22 was a charger handle. I created my own charger handle, and that's when I basically jumped into the game. I don't know where I'm headed, but I feel like I'm headed in the right spot. I really want to meet Hoffman, so if somebody come across this, please send him my direction. Tell him I want to collab. Usually I comment, try to get him to notice me or whatever, but I'm serious. Like, I want to collab with him, you know what I'm saying? I think we got some good things in our minds going on, so yeah. All right. Just show y'all it's in there. There it is. Y'all see it right there. And just push it in, it falls right in. FRT. And with mine, I lean it forward just a tad bit. Close it up. It'll sit kind of open, but what I do is I just hit it on my leg and drop it ever so slightly behind it so I can close it up. Now, functionality check with my auto trip and Hoffman's FRT over my build. Right now, it does have the H2 and the spring coat buffer, but that doesn't really matter right now because the way the bolt is set up, it doesn't need none of that. So let's test this out real quick. Reset, fire. That's the first way you'll know it works, whenever the trigger is able to pull. That's how you know that that tang, the placement and everything is in the correct spot, because without nothing interacting with the tang, it will not let you shoot because of the way he designed it, which is smart. I'm definitely trying to get this in camera. Hope y'all see this, but I timed it so that way right before it closes, it should be able to click just like that. So this right here will be my design, but this upper isn't. This upper was designed by a group called AWCY, which stands for Are We Cool Yet? Shout out to them too, because I've used some of their stuff too, including their lower for the 22 conversion, and also that was my first AR build, period. And actually, speaking on building the AR, actually that was my first AR own. Shout out to my boy Young Tactical. We basically started a beta group. Well, he started a beta group, and they basically challenged me. I had requested basically, or said something to them like, I think I could, design a charger handle, and it was going to be for the Young Tactical 22 design he had going on, and I was going to pair it hand in hand with his upper, and it was going to come in his files with my charger handle. Now, mind the glue in the baking soda, because that broke one day when I was just pulling it super hard trying to break it, and I ended up just gluing it back on there because I didn't feel like printing another one, and it worked just as fine. Like, you would never pull it that damn hard. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. And as a matter of fact, I kind of shaved it real thin, so actually it had made it real skinny, and it's really supposed to be a little bit thicker for more dexterity and strength. But some things happened where I just had to shave a little bit right here just so it could fit better. But in its actual files, everything is good. Now, I literally thought deep into the design because, like I said, this was my first design ever, especially dealing with any firearms, anything like that. So this design actually took me longer to design than I actually wanted it to, but that kind of paved my way into the designing game, and now we pretty far. So I'm designing a lot more things. Some things I can't say on here due to some reasons. But yeah, definitely functions. You have a, I don't know if y'all can see down in there, but there's a tiny pencil spring goes down in there. Then I did a version 2 on this latch hook because my first version, the spring kept popping out of the back. It wouldn't actually pop out of the whole charging handle, but it'll pop off from the slot. So I fixed that problem where it has a capture hook, capture point, and fitting it into the upper is just as easy and the same as your regular charging handle. This one kind of snaps in there, and then you can push it and it'll click, latch on to the latching place. Like I said, I was pulling these shits entirely too hard, and if y'all can see right there, I had to put some more glue and baking soda. That works so well. It literally gets hard in an instant, so if you do know about it, you just be careful with that. So I had to just make it a little thicker so that way it'll actually, let me put it back up there, it'll actually hold again. This upper though is trash. The charger handle is not. So I just definitely wanted to give this little charger handle its little praise because this is my first design ever, and being that this is my first successful one, I literally, when I broke it, like I said, I had to fix it because I didn't want to get rid of it, and it all worked out all in all because I got it flat where I needed it, yada yada. Another little thing I wanted to add in here just before I really wrap this video up is in order for the FRT to work, 556223, the bolt carrier that y'all are going to need is the M16 profile one. These are a lot thicker in the back for a reason. It's to trip the auto trip point and the auto lower. So it literally trips the auto trip point in a auto loader, a full auto weapon. There you go. But being that, you know, we got FRTs and wide open triggers and yada 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 now, the same trip point that was designed for the M16, I mean the M4s and M16s. I know the M4. Nah, no, one of them with the 3-round burst, so it's one of the two. But I know that it still needs the trip for both of them. But since we're talking about full automatic weapons, I'm not too sure if it was the M16 or the M4. I just know one of them was a 3-round burst gun. But anyways, yeah, the same lug, exactly what it's called, trips the FRT, the wide open triggers, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you get you a M16 bolt carrier group. It cannot be that little AR-15 bullshit. Just go ahead and get you a M16 bolt. For number one, you got way more material. You don't have to use it. And number two, bro, why not get you an M16 bolt? Who goes for the AR-15 bolt? Like, you have more options with this, man. So get you one.